Well, good evening, good morning, wherever you shall be in this wonderful place we call Earth. I'm your host, Jamie, for Southern Truth 4. And yes, we are going to continue on with this court case that is currently going on in Levy County, Florida, between Jeremy Hale from What the Hales Sales and also from Lynette Preston. But there's a few other players that we should invite into this mix as well. Judge Dethomasis, who is presiding over this case. Also, Lynette Attorney Silverman and Jeremy Hale's attorney, Dr. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Please hit the thumb button if you shall please, and leave us a comment down below. Just to say this again, I have been a fan and a supporter of What the Hales for about 5 years. And yes, I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly over the journey that Jeremy and George has taken themselves on. And there's a little bit of, what does he say? Good vibes with Jeremy and George, because it reminds me of me, what they do. I'm a collector too. I collect music memorabilia. I collect toys. I've got some musical toys up there. I've got Def Leppard. I've got Van Halen. I've got Kiss. I've got AC/DC. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and a few others. I've got drumsticks, guitar picks. I've got a guitar from Paul Stanley from Kiss. And what I used to do back in the old days, when I say the old days, I'm talking about in 2000 to 2004, when I was still residing in New South Wales of Sydney, which is on the east coast of Australia. I used to work in a second-hand furniture shop. And what we used to do, we used to go to people who will donate their pre-loved furniture and white goods. And if it's in good condition, we will pick it up at no charge, and we will resell that to the community that's on a low income or who are starting their lives in a new house. They just moved out of home or whatnot, and they need some furniture and they don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money. So we will give them affordable furniture just to start them off. You get them a bed, get them some lounge suite, a dining table, fridges. Well, the only place in our area that was picking up white goods, because a lot of second-hand furniture places won't pick up second-hand white goods due to insurance and all that. But we were lucky enough that we had a guy who was electrical minded. He can take the engine that's out of the washing machines, or the motor out of the washing machines, the motor out of the fridges and dryers, and test run them to see if there's any faults in them. And if there's no faults, they go on the floor and we resell it back to the general public. So that's basically what I was doing. And when I came across Jeremy Hales, it's like, man, this is what I would like. They do treasure hunting. I do another form of treasure hunting in collecting music memorabilia, sports memorabilia, and so forth. And that's what I did. And yes, here in Australia we have minerals as well, like gold, opal, copper, you name it. And I've been watching these shows here with my partner Shay, the opal hunters, and they go up all around Australia and seeing them collecting opals and saying we're in the wrong job. We're definitely in the wrong job. But anyway, no, I don't stalk Jeremy and George. I give them love and support. And they're going through this battle at the moment in Levy County, Florida. And as you can see, the title, once, twice, 3 times denied. On the 28th of February, just a couple of days ago, on a Wednesday, Jeremy had to go into court in Levy County, and he put a motion to get Judge Dethomasis removed from the seat because he has been biased and not doing due process accordingly to the Constitution. Basically, what I'm saying is he's trying to be the judge, God, executioner, and you name it, because he holds a seat to the throne. But unfortunately, that's not how things should be in modern society. Modern society in court procedures should have a due process, and we do know all around the world, including here in Australia, there are several cases, court trials, that do not have due process. I spoke in the last episode that the Judge Dethomasis had put a temporary injunction on Jeremy due to Lynette claiming that Jeremy's former judge, Mark Feathers, bribed her and gave an assumption of bribing money to get this court hearing moved away. And the judge took as truth, even though Jeremy and his attorney have not been allowed to present any evidence because the Judge Dethomasis decides to rule the throne of his seat and only play one side of the argument. I do have some things to say in regards to what happened on Wednesday, but at no shape or form do I want to jeopardize Jeremy in his proceeding because it's still ongoing. It hasn't finished. And I want to encourage other YouTubers just be aware that, things are heating up because this judge on Wednesday, he ain't moving. He ain't moving. And it just goes to show just how much power control this judge really, really wants. It's not about how much power, it's how much does he want to be able to withhold that power. And it's just ridiculous how he's allowed to continue to preside in this court hearing without allowing Jeremy's attorneys to speak. And mind you, Jeremy's attorney did try to speak, but he's been interrupted. He's been shut down. And he has been ridiculed. But this judge will go on for 15 minutes and argue all about Mark Feathers. That was Jeremy's previous attorney before this whole allegation bribe thing that Lynette made up. But the Thomases decided to take that as truth because it is the law. What I'm going to ask people to do, if you haven't already done so, please go over to What the Hales YouTube channel. Here it is. And they've got over 700,000 subscribers now. please give them your love, your support, and keep up to date with the ongoing procedures in court. And they have released a video early today. I have watched it, and due to what happened on Wednesday, I am not surprised what this judge did. It's no shock. And I just want to say this. I will play some snippets of this video that Jeremy did, and I will let people to decide and you leave a comment in the chat room on below the video if you haven't watched it and you'll replay it later, to put a comment underneath. And you will actually hear yourself from Jeremy's point of view what happened. I'm not going to play the full video. If you want to see the full video, you go over to what the Hales and you see it yourself. But I'm going to play a little snippet and do my due process to allow the general public to be able to just get a bit of a taste of what it is. And Jeremy, I just hope you're doing well. So just bear with me, guys. I just got to get the video. All right. I've got to go to the back thing. So this is court hearing number 5. My name. All right. Court hearing 5 that happened on Wednesday. So let's just, hey, we've got to wait for these ads to finish. Yeah. YouTube's got to make their money somehow, don't they? So I'll just play it from the 5-minute mark. All right. And you can hear it for yourself. I have to put my headphones on. Give me a couple of seconds. All right. So I'm playing it from the 5-minute mark. Let's go here. Sorry, let's go here. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's the one I want. Got it. All right. So let's just say here. That's better. Sorry, Jeremy. That's a good face. That's a good face. But anyway, I got my headphones on. Let's see. Listen to it for yourself.
He's proved it while trying to be elected and failing as a judge. Okay. All right. The motion must state a factual foundation for the party's fear of prejudice. The motion was 61 pages stating the facts. All right.
Now, the first motion to remove Judge Dethomasis back in 2023 was 61 pages. And basically, Judge Dethomasis denied that one. And this is what Jeremy's talking about, the 61 pages.
And he goes on to say, adverse legal rulings are not legal sufficient grounds for disqualification. Basically, what he's saying, all of your motions mean absolutely nothing.
Hear that? All of the motions that Jeremy and his attorneys have made to get Judge Dethomasis removed from the bench means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because he wants to hold his seat to the power.
And I hope you understand the fact that he just didn't say no, and he wrote yet again 2 pages is another reason legally for.
Now, he wrote 2 pages on Wednesday, the 28th of February, a couple of days ago. Listen to Jeremy, what he says about these 2 pages.
Disqualification. All right, so number 3 says, in ruling on a legal sufficiency of a motion to disqualify, a judge must explain the status of the record. So now he's saying what I just told you, which we already used case law and told him, hey, you cannot converse any more than just yes or no. And now he's saying, well, on a ruling of a legal sufficiency of a motion to disqualify, judge must explain for the record. Further, a judge may comment factual on what transpired during irrelevant proceedings when rulings on the motion.
I want you to take that word, may take things as factual. May. Doesn't mean he has to. Doesn't mean that he he definitely may take things as factual.
Motion to disqualify. In other words, he's saying you're wrong and I'm right. I'm the judge. You're not. And Jeremy, I'm coming after you.
Let me just stop there. Let's come back to you guys. So you're coming after Jeremy, no matter how much Jeremy and his attorney try to prove that this judge is absolutely in the wrong. Doesn't matter to Judge Dethomasis. He's coming after Jeremy. He's coming after Jeremy. Is it because this judge feels that he's under threat? I'm not talking about in a violent physical manner that he's under. I'm talking about maybe because this Judge Dethomasis is not doing his due process that he is sworn in to do and uphold the constitutional rights of the United States of America. Maybe he feels threatened that he's been caught out. Is that a fair statement? Leave a comment in the chat room or leave your comment in the comment section below the video. That this Judge Dethomasis feels that his job is being threatened because he's not doing the right thing. He's not doing the actual due process that is required for a judge to do. Does he feel threatened? Because he's made a 2-page statement on Wednesday, just gone. Doesn't matter what you throw at me, I'm coming at you. Let's continue what Jeremy has got to say. Let me put my headphones back on so we can get the audio for you guys. And then if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe and do what you need to do.
Number 4, in the court's prior order issued on February 14th, 2024, under subsection 7A, through explained that the relevance and the material status of the record, not by taking issue with the averments contained within the motion under review, but rather by identifying that it was true that there were several transgressions from applicable law and procedure engaging by counsel throughout the proceeding, which were then addressed by the court as they arose. In other words, he's arguing that when he is attacking my legal team, he has every legal right to attack my legal team.
And let's just state this. He states that he has every right to attack Jeremy's legal team. There was one court hearing. Let me take the headphones off again. There was one court hearing proceeding that he attacked Jeremy's previous attorney, Mark Feather, for 15 minutes before he even decided to go on the arguments of the side of Lynette Preston. For 15 minutes. And he's still going after Jeremy's attorney that is representing him now, Attorney Chocolate. This judge is attacking in the courtroom Jeremy's attorneys. What judge does that? He's obviously got some form of I'm trying to use the right word here without getting into trouble. Intimidation. The judge feels like he's been intimidated, and therefore he's got to hold up his defenses by attacking Jeremy's attorneys and his legal team, and also Jeremy himself. Why? You have to ask yourself a question, Judge Dethomasis. Why are you doing this? Just because you wear a robe, Just because you got a little hammer in your hand, just because you're going to have a piece of paper all scattered all over your desk with a pen and scribbling all over it, does that make you a better man by attacking a legal team that hasn't been allowed to present any evidence, any argument to the case? You won't allow Jeremy's legal team to speak in the courtroom, but yet you will rant and rave for 15 minutes going over things that happened back in December or November, December of 2023. We're in 2024. It's like this judge has a remote control button. It's like, hold on a minute, just hold it right there. We need to rewind it back down to 2023 in November of 2023, and we have to go through all this again. Therefore, it takes time. And then by the time he looks at his watch and looks at the clock on the wall, court hearing must be adjourned because we've run out of time. And it just gets dragged on and on and on. And Jeremy hasn't even put his side of the argument over. And it's still happening. This is court hearing 5. Let's continue what Jeremy had to say. Excuse me, I just turn up my mixer so I can make sure the volume is right.
As he acts as their judge as well.
So what I'm hearing is, it's my courtroom.
So what you're hearing in the background is Jeremy's partner. They are engaged. They're not married. They're engaged. She is speaking behind the camera. Listen to what George got to say.
And I rogue if I want to, rogue if I want to, rogue if I want to. It's my courtroom and I rogue if I want to, rogue if I want to.
I just want to state this. You know, this couple have lots of fun like I do. I mean, I joke with Shay and that. We know this Judge Dethomasis is Rose, but I just want to take one step further. Remember the old Lionel Richie song? Once, twice. Well, it's not 3 times a lady. It's once, twice, 3 times denied. Now get out of my courtroom. No, we won't get out of your courtroom. Right, let's continue.
It's insanity. It is insanity. He should have recused himself. He should have stepped away from this. He's creating the most toxic
He's being really
environment
defensive
with another toxic person, Lynette. As stated in subsection.
Now, Lynette is the one that lived across the road from Jeremy and George in Otter Creek. They share the same public road. But unfortunately, Jeremy can't access all of his property because Lynette put an injunction in for a temporary protection order, and it was granted.
Section 8, the prior or previous order, adverse rulings, I mean, he just keeps going on. It's insufficient grounds for disqualification. Further, it's the court's responsibility to assure that the orderly administration, here's the best part, this just blows my mind. It's the court's responsibility to assure the orderly administration of justice. Well,
what is that? Orchestrated military justice. What was that? Answer yourself a question. What is that?
that's exactly what we're saying. There is no order in the court.
Exactly. There is no order. So what is it? You must be a genius, Dethomasis. What is it? What is the order? We'd like to know this.
There is no justice in his court.
Exactly right. There's no justice whatsoever. Especially if Jeremy, a legal team, can't even be allowed to speak in the courtroom. Isn't that supposed to be due process? Or supposed to let the other side to speak? Unfortunately, with Judge Dethomasis, that has not even happened. This is the 5th hearing.
The fair application of law. We're literally saying you're being unfair in the application of law.
Exactly right. Unfair and unconstitutional as well.
He treats Lynette one way, me another way. Lynette's counsel one way, my counsel another way.
1000%. You can see it for yourself. Just go to What the Hales YouTube channel, and there's a playlist called Otter Creek, O-D-D-E-R Creek, because everything is odd in Otter Creek. You can see for yourself the court hearing.
There is no fairness, none whatsoever. And to assure counsel's adherence to the regulations of the bar as well as code of professional conduct, it's necessary by obligation of court to place on the record to allow responsive counsel, if any, in all transgressions and violations of the law and the standard.
You get the gift. You get the gift. So, if you want to hear the full thing, go to What the Hales YouTube channel, and you will hear the full video of what actually transpired on Wednesday. Now, let's just say this. Jeremy has got his First Amendment taken away, all because of what he's supposedly attorney is supposed to have done is bribe Annette and make YouTube videos. And basically, Jeremy does YouTube videos every single day and does one live every Sunday night and does auctions and fan mail and whatnot with George. But Judge Dethomasis is starting to rule that if any fan or supporter of What the Hales, or even a listener, just a neutral listener, listen to What the Hales and comment, Jeremy can be held reliable for what other people say about Judge Dethomasis, Lynette, Attorney Silverman, you name it. But here's the thing. The Judge Dethomasis is trying to treat this as a form of hate speech. Now, I've got an article from Canada, where Canada this week just put a bill into their parliament that they can put people in prison for life due to hate speech. Now, yes, it may be Canada, but I just want people to start to think. If this Judge Dethomasis down in Florida is starting to rule the same thing, that he's going to put Jeremy into prison due to hate speech, due to criticism towards Judge Dethomasis for his biased proceedings in our courtroom and a few other things, just imagine what will happen. Let me read this article from Canada. Yeah. Let me read this article. This is from the National Post. New Liberal online harm bill to make online hate punishable up to life in prison. This is in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Can you just imagine this trickles down to where Jeremy is currently proceeding in court? Imagine if this goes universal all around the world, that you can be put into prison for life for online hate speech. Let's just read this. The Bill C-63 aims to force social media user uploaded adult content and live streaming services to reduce exposure to online content deemed harmful. Well, if you put child pornography up there, yeah, you should be put into jail for life. But anyway, we'll go into the hate speech. The hate speech is the one that I'm focusing on in this article. Excuse me. In Ottawa, the federal government in Canada tabled its long-awaited online harms bill on Monday this week, which is already shaping up to become a delicate political battle over freedom of expression on the internet, while also aiming to provide more protection for children. Yes, there should be more protection for children, but what I'm trying to point out here, right? What I'm trying to point out, freedom of expression on the internet. You have a different opinion to what authorities or government or your neighbor or your boss say, there's going to be harsh penalties in Canada. Bill C-63 aims to force social media user uploaded adult content layout, I said that, streaming services, to reduce exposure online content deemed harmful, to strengthen the reporting of child pornography and better address hate propaganda and provide recourse to victims of hate online. Let's continue. It also amends the criminal code to create a new standalone hate crime offence that will allow penalties up to life in prison to deter hateful conduct, as well as raise the maximum punishment for hate propaganda offences from 5 years to life imprisonment for advocating genocide. I won't read what that says because they're talking about the youngsters and that, yeah. But see, I want to read this paragraph here. Harmful content is defined in the legislation in Canada as content that incites violence, that formulates hatred, that incites violence, extremism, and terrorism, is used to bully a child, that sexual fantasizes. Okay. The bill also creates a new Digital Safety Commission, which will be responsible for enforcing rules and upholding online services accountable, as well as a separate digital safety ombudsman or ombudsperson, which will support and advocate for users and make recommendations to social media services and the government. Take away the child situation, like victimizations of a child and that, yes, which they should be punished. There should be punishment in regard to that. But for online hate, like figure of speech and that, what I'm trying to say is that Jeremy and George, from what they have, they do content for their YouTube channel every single day. And if they are forced to not to voice their opinion on a certain matter or a certain topic, no matter what it is, this Judge Dethomasis can hold Jeremy liable and accountable. Any fan or follower or supporter or mutual supporter that comments on the matter, Jeremy can be held accountable because this Judge Dethomasis is trying to use this as a form of hate speech. We know that Judge Dethomasis is watching the videos. We know that Attorney Silverman, that residing for Lynette Preston as a defendant, Jeremy is the respondent, right? But Jeremy's side, his legal team, and Jeremy haven't been able to speak or provide any evidence because the judge is favouring one, not the other, not doing what they call the due process to hear both sides of the argument, then make the final judgment. In my opinion, and many other people's opinion that are following this story, we all believe that the judge has already made his mind up a couple of months ago that Jeremy, no matter what he says now, he's going to be held liable for everything that he has said and what his fans have said, what his supporters have said, what anybody else has said. I will not be surprised that the video that came out about today, about Wednesday hearing, Jeremy's going to be held liable for it. We know that the judge is watching. And this is what it comes down to, hate speech. Just because you have a different opinion, that doesn't define hate speech. It's an opinion. And I'll live by this statement. Opinions are like bumholes. Everybody's got one. Whether you agree with it or not. It doesn't make it right. At the same token, doesn't make it wrong. You have what you call freedom of speech, but not according to Judge Dethomasis. Jeremy's not allowed to have freedom of speech. But he can listen to the lies that LiveNet has made in the motions of court and the injunctions of court, and he has to take that as the truth because it's the law. Well, here's a question, Judge Dethomasis. If you can take LiveNet live as truth, because in your words, Judge Dethomasis, it's the law, why haven't you allowed Jeremy's legal team and Jeremy to present their story to the courtroom? Because after all, you have to take it as truth. You can't handle the truth because it's the law. But you know what, Judge Dethomasis? People in this world, they fought the law and the law won. Because the way I see it, and there's many other people that are following this legal procedures, we see how biased you have been. We've seen how unconstitutional you have been. And if I'm being critical, yes, I'm a commentator. I do social commentary. I do journalism here in Australia as well. Just because I got a small YouTube channel doesn't mean that I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I may live in a different country. We may live differently in certain aspects of life. But the fundamental thing that we're all humans in this world, we do have the basic principles that we live upon of what is wrong and right. We know what's wrong and right. But when you can see that the judge is favoritizing one side, and whether you shall call that live or manipulation or whatever, the other side here, Jeremy's legal team and Jeremy, has not even been heard. And it's been the fifth hearing. The fifth. Let me share another thing too that happened on Wednesday. And hopefully this does, you guys can see it. If not, I'll have to use it another way, shape, or form. Let's see if you guys can see this. I don't think you'll be able to, but no. Oh, well, I'll have to go to Twitter /X. Larry Foreman, he is known as the DUI guy on YouTube. He is a DUI lawyer in Kentucky. This is what he got given to him earlier today. And I want to give a shout out to the DUI guy. I just want to share this. This is from his ex thing in regards to this case. This was a filing in the court of the 8th Judicial Circuit in and for Levy County, Florida. The petitioners were not Preston, and Jeremy Hales is a respondent. This part here that I want to say: motion for stay trial court proceeding pending a petition for writ of prohibition. Respondent Jeremy Hales, by and through undersigned counsel, moved to stay the proceeding pending a petition for a writ prohibition and dates. What that means is they want to put everything on a pause and get a higher judge to preside over the proceeding, that Judge Dethomasis has no jurisdiction to preside over the proceedings. 3 times now, Judge Dethomasis denied his removal from this bench. It's like playing baseball. You have 3 strikes and you're out. Well, this is what Jeremy and his legal team had decided to do, to put a motion for a stay of a writ prohibition. Now, whether or not Judge Dethomasis will grant that or not, I don't know. We haven't heard anything more, because on the 1st of March, which is here in Australia already, it's 9:24 p.m. March the 1st. It's coming up to morning of March the 1st. There is supposed to be a final hearing today in Levy County. I don't know any more details if that has actually been approved or not, that motion there. We haven't heard anything. So I can't give any foreseeable opinion on that, whether that has been granted or not granted, because if it has been, that means everything's been paused and there won't be a court hearing. But anyway, we know that writ prohibition has been put into place. And basically what that means, they'll put a freeze on everything that's currently, because Jeremy's legal team and Jeremy are stating that the Judge Dethomasis don't have any jurisdictions over the presiding of the court. Let's hear what Jeremy has to say in this. All right. Let's have a look. Listen to if it goes into that. Just hold it for a second. Let's get down. I'm just getting the timestamp. Just wait there for later. Here we go. Hold it, guys. These adverts. Right. All right. Let's just play it from here. Let's see what Jeremy's got to say in this. I want to hear about the writ. You may not hear it here, but who knows? Let's just play it from here.
His job is to listen as a judge and find facts that adhere or don't adhere to the law and make orders based on it. That's it. The man cannot keep his mouth shut, and he wants to run his mouth over and over and over about me. Funny part is that
he has not just had you running his mouth over Jeremy, he's also running his mouth about Mark Feather.
One point, Silverman, Joshua, even says, well, Jeremy's not too concerned about the injunction. He's all over YouTube saying that he doesn't even care about the injunction. It doesn't affect him.
That's because Jeremy's not in contact with Lynette. Jeremy and George are not in contact. They don't want to have any contact with Lynette and John Cook. So let's continue.
No, let's clarify. Let's clarify. I've been very, very clear that this injunction does nothing in the aspect of communication.
Exactly, the communication. That's what I was saying. Jeremy doesn't want any contact with Lynette. Doesn't want to have any contact with John Cook, that Lynette's ex-husband, whatever. Still lives on the same property, though.
I don't want communication with her. I don't want her anywhere around me. That means nothing to me. But
Which I just mentioned. Doesn't want to have any communication. Doesn't want to be anywhere near them. That's what I did say.
this thing also has taken away my First Amendment right, which means everything to me. This also has taken away my Second Amendment right, which means everything to me, because she's the type of person I have to protect myself from. He's the type of person I have to protect myself
He is John Cook.
from. I've been, all my access to my land has been taken from me illegally.
I did mention that the access to the public road to Jeremy and George's property that lives right across the road from Lynette and John, the judge has denied access to their own property.
Access driving on the public road has been taken from me
And it's a public road too.
illegally. Contact with the injunction, communication with the injunction, being near her with the injunction means nothing to me. I don't want her near me. I don't want her talking to me. That's what means nothing. Everything else has infringed upon my rights as a U.S. citizen. These are civil rights that are being attacked.
1000%. Now, I'm in Australia. I'm all for the Second Amendment. Yeah, we've got gun control here in Australia, but I used to work up in the outback of Australia. We used to go hunting for a kangaroo and cattle, and that were hunters. I still believe that people are allowed to protect themselves. And if you have a gun and you are a law-abiding citizen, yeah, you're allowed, in my opinion, allowed to have a gun. But unfortunately, the Australian government won't allow people to carry a firearm.
So, other things that went on in the actual hearing. Believe it or not, Joshua actually agreed. Yeah, let's stay this thing.
Joshua Silverman is Lynette Preston's attorney. He's agreed. All right, here we go.
Except he used a different word. He said, let's just use the continuance. We'll just
Continuance. That's all they do. All Lynette's side of the aisle, all they do. And that is continuance. That's because Judge Dethomasis won't keep his big mouth shut and let Jeremy's legal team to speak. He wastes time on absolute garbage.
put it on a continuance, an indefinite continuance on the calendar until the higher courts actually decide what they're going to do.
This is about the writ. The writ.
So, Joshua, you obviously are watching. You've proven that you're watching. Thank you. I think that was kind of you. And I think that was respectful of you. And I think that that was the right thing to do. And I also, and this is just my opinion, think that Joshua has found out how wrong he was to take this individual Lynette on as a client.
Let's just stop there. If you want to continue to watch that, go to What the Hales YouTube channel. Now, how did John Silverman been able to take this case on for Lynette? Well, apparently one of Lynette's supporters donated $7,000 so Lynette can have an attorney. In the couple of hearings beforehand, Lynette was representing herself. She didn't have an attorney. But somehow, there is a supporter of Lynette out in this magical mystery land out there, donated $7,000. And Joshua Silverman, got himself involved. Bit funny that Silverman and Judge Dethomasis went to the same law school together, and they're buddies. Buddies. And just goes to show you that what comes around goes around. What goes around comes around, whatever the way you say it. And it really, really is eye-opening. But in regard to the motion of the stay and with the writ, haven't seen or heard anything in regard that if it has been approved or not. There's supposed to be a final hearing on March the 1st, which is today in America. Don't know if that's going to happen. I truly believe it's not the final hearing. If that's going to continue, as you heard, Joshua Silverman continuous. That's all because the judge won't keep his mouth shut, won't allow Jeremy's side to speak. You're wasting my time here, boy. I need to go to play my little cigar room. But anyway. But I do want you guys to go over to the Hales YouTube channel. If you haven't already done so, please do. Let me just share screen once again. Jeremy and George are a fantastic couple. They're absolutely adorable people. Adorable. Let's go here. And I also have put their link in the description underneath the video. That's what the Hales. They're 4,000 off 700,000 subscribers. So please get them to 700,000 subscribers. There will be another video coming in tomorrow. Well, later today, American time, but tomorrow, Australian time. And for those people asking, Jamie, can you give us the lotto numbers? You're a day ahead of us. My only thing I can say about that, the numbers are between 1 and 90. Yeah. Pick the number between 1 and 90, and you probably will win something. Yeah. But I do want to say this. We should not fight against flesh and blood. We should stand and fight against the principles of sin. If you say something that not in good behavior, you should hold them accountable for it. If you say someone being rude, like the Judge Dethomasis, they should be held accountable. If you feel that you've been violated from your freedom of speech, from your Second Amendment, you should hold the other person accountable to provide the evidence that backs up their claim. If Judge Dethomasis can take one side of the argument as truth because it is the law, you can't handle the truth. But he did. You have to ask yourself a question. Well, hang on a minute. You still haven't heard this side yet. Yes, we can all say they're tried by media, trial by fire. But the media, mainstream media, are not part of this. The judge is trying to put down a final ruling on what he thinks is the law. If you haven't already done so, please smash the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below. My name is Jamie. Until I hear more on what goes on, I will be back giving you a little bit of a breakdown and a little bit of a commentary on the proceedings at hand. Pray for Jeremy and George. Pray for Jeremy's legal team and all the good people of Otter Creek. And pray for yourself. Look after yourself and enjoy the day, wherever you shall be. We'll see you on the next one.